Hello and welcome to Talking Golf with Gary. This week, the dynamic Gary will introduce you to all kinds of topics pertinent to this past week of golf. He'll give you some tidbits of information as what's coming up and take you on a tour around the world for all of the golfing highlights. Sit back and enjoy Talking Golf with Gary.
And hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Golf with Gary, episode number 159, and it is our first episode and our first major tournament recap for 2012. We've got one down and 3 to go. The U.S. Open yet to come, the British Open, and, of course, the PGA Championship. But the Masters is in the books, first major of the year, and it was in another exciting tournament. This year has really set up as quite the year of playoffs and close golf, and not so big. The real big names fell back a little bit, and but I hope that everyone had a great week. And before we get into the recap, if you'd like to be a part of the show, please feel free to email me at talkinggolf@gmail.com or call the 24-hour voicemail hotline at 516-619-6341. So we were talking about the Masters, and went to a playoff, and Bubba Watson won the Masters after just a fantastic wedge shot from in the middle of the trees and off of the straw and onto the green, setting up a 2-putt win for his green jacket. After a back-and-forth day where the lead changed hands a few times, Louis Oosthuizen and Bubba Watson tied to set up a sudden death playoff. Both players got good looks at a birdie on 18, with Watson barely missing a Masters winning putt. On the second playoff hole, Watson stuck his tee shot on 10 into the deep woods right of the green, but then uncorked a shot not even a Mickelson fan could imagine, a straight-up wedge that landed within 15 feet for a birdie. Needing 2 shots to win, Watson put his first putt close and tapped in the second for his first major win. And that shot, he had to hook that about 40 yards or so. It was just an amazing shot to see. Oosthuizen playing a largely mundane round of golf, with one notable exception, a 3-under albatross on the second hole that surely ranks as one of the greatest shots in Masters history. The 260-yard shot was enough to keep the field at bay for most of the round, and enough to give Oosthuizen a little room to waver through the course of the round. He steadied himself on the back 9, bringing home the same 10 under that he'd staked himself to on the second hole. Once again, Watson found himself in a playoff for a major championship. You'll remember in 2010 he fell to Martin Kaymer in the PGA Championship. This year, there would be no such fade. Phil Mickelson, the favorite coming into the day. Phil was actually a stroke behind Peter Hansen coming into the final round. But he played 17 solid holes at a level good enough to stay in the hunt, if not win it. But the problem was the 4th hole, where he drove a shot into the side of a grandstand and then needed 2 right-handed shots. Keep in mind, Phil shoots left-handed. He had to shoot 2 right-handed shots to get it free of the dense jungle growth. He carded a triple bogey 7, falling from 8 under to 5 under, and although he wouldn't bogey another shot, he left too many putts short. He finished right where he started at 8 under, staring up at an impassable 2-stroke incline at the leaders. And Phil actually played 70 holes, I believe, at 14 under, and 2 holes at 6 over, and that was really the difference for him. Otherwise, they would have been chasing him in this tournament. Thursday, he had another triple bogey, and triple bogey on Thursday and a triple bogey yesterday. It's really what killed him in this whole week. And other highlights of the Masters included 2 aces at 16 by Bo Van Pelt and Adam Scott, and Van Pelt's astonishing 8-under run to tie a Masters record. Lee Westwood didn't do his usual major fade, but his 4-under day to get to -8 simply wasn't enough. And he really did his swoon a couple of days earlier when he was actually tied for the lead at one point and just fell apart. I believe it was the 3rd round. So he came back on the 4th round, but it wasn't enough. And Matt Kuchar and 54-hole leader Peter Hansen both took turns at the lead but couldn't hold. Tiger Woods, well, it was not a good week for Tiger. He had a 2 over 74 yesterday to finish a dismal 5 over par. It was one of the worst scores he's ever had at the Masters tournament. In the end, though, I think the thing that we'll all remember most of this year's Masters was a tearful Bubba Watson embracing his mother as the light faded. He'd finally broken into the ranks of golf's major winners with a well-deserved, hard-earned victory, and there was little more to do at that moment than weep in his gratitude and joy for winning the green jacket for the first time. So Bubba's a major winner now. He's got that Masters, and he'll be teeing off and hosting the Tournament Champions Dinner next year at Augusta. And believe it or not, there was another tournament on the PGA Tour, and that was a nationwide event. And Andres Gonzalez completed a wire-to-wire victory yesterday in the Soboba Golf Classic, beating Andrew Svoboda by 2 strokes for his first nationwide tour title. Gonzalez closed with an even par 71 to finish at 8 under 276 on the Country Club at Soboda Springs. The 28-year-old former UNLV player earned $135,000. Svoboda shot a 71. Alistair Presnell and Michael Ledzik tied for 3rd at 5 under. Presnell had a 68, and Ledzik finished with a 70. So the congratulations go out to Andres Gonzalez picking up his first nationwide tour title in the only other event of the major tours scheduled on the same day as the finals of the Masters. So congratulations to those 2 golfers, Bubba Watson and Andres Gonzalez, as they take home victories yesterday. And we're going to take a break and be back right after this. For all the listeners of Talking Golf with Gary, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. Over 75,000 titles to choose from in many different categories, including science fiction, mysteries, biographies, sports, computers, you name it, they have it. To download your free audiobook today, go to audiblepodcast.com/Talking Golf with Gary. Again, that's audiblepodcast.com/Talking Golf with Gary for your free audiobook today. You can now hear our show while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. On-demand news, talk, and more on your mobile phone. The latest episode is always available for you. No syncing needed and no memory or storage wasted. Available for your iPhone, Android phone, WebOS phone, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy. Go to Stitcher.com or check out your app store. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
This is Barry from Mets Musings. Be sure to tune in weekly to Gary and myself at Mets Musings at Podomatic.com and also on iTunes.
And remember, if you'd like to be part of the show, you can by emailing us at talkinggolf@gmail.com, or you can call the voicemail hotline at 516-619-6341. And in other golf news, Sergio Garcia told Spanish reporters after a dismal third round at the Masters that he doesn't think he's capable of winning a major. Just 19 when he had a spectacular showdown with Tiger Woods at the 1999 PGA Championship, Garcia was supposed to give Woods a fight for the title of greatest player of their generation. He's hardly been a washout with 10 victories on the European Tour and another 7 on the PGA Tour, but he's never quite lived up to his star billing either. At 32, he's now 0 for 54 in the majors. Not that he hasn't had chances. He finished in the top 12 at the last 3 majors of 2011 and went into the third round of Augusta National stroke behind the leaders. But then he took himself out of contention with a 3 over 75 that left him 8 strokes back and then unburdened himself to Spanish reporters. And the issue of female members at Augusta National has returned to the forefront since Virginia Rometty was named IBM's new chief executive earlier this year. IBM is one of the longtime sponsors of the tournament, and its last 4 CEOs, all males, were invited to be members. Augusta National's chairman, Billy Payne, has refused to provide a substantive answer to whether Rometty will receive the same treatment, saying the club's membership's decisions are private. IBM also has declined to comment, and security around the company's hospitality cabin at Augusta was tight all week. So that remains to be seen what happens there. If you remember, a few years back, there was a protest by members of a women's group against Augusta National and threatening to boycott sponsors, and the Masters Committee just decided to run it on TV without sponsors, and did quite well in the ratings, and so it didn't seem to bother them at all. But we'll have to see where this situation goes and what gets determined with that. Now let's move on to birthdays.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday! A celebration anew! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
And for today's birthdays, today would have been the 55th birthday of Seve Ballesteros. Seve, the great golfer that passed away 2 years ago, would have been 55 today. And on April 13th, Davis Love III turns 48 years old. And on April 14th, Englishman David Horsey turns 27. Mike Hulbert plays on the Champions Tour, turns 54. And Simon Wakefield, another English golfer, turns 38 years old. So congratulations to all of those guys on their birthdays. And we'll move on to the calendar.
Now it's time to do the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar. Oh, hooray, let's sing the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar.
And with the Masters completed, the tour stays in the South and goes to Hilton Head, South Carolina for the RBC Heritage event, where Brent Snedeker will be the defending champion there. And on the Champions Tour front, they're back in action with the Encompass Insurance Pro-Am of Tampa Bay. And John Cook was the 2011 winner of that event. And the Nationwide Tour is in action, and they'll be playing the TPC Stonebray Championship, where Daniel Chopra will defend the title. And last but not least, the European Tour gets back into their action with the Maybank Malaysian Open, and Matteo Manacero is the defending champion of that event. And that about's going to wrap it up for this week. Quick show, even though we did have a major tournament. And we'll be back next week to recap all of the action from those tours that we just told you about. And we hope you have a great week. And we'll see you again on the next episode of Talking Golf with Gary, episode number 160. So be sure to tune in for that one. In the meantime, have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you then.